Hey everybody, it's Jack and welcome back. Today I will be doing another penny stock review and analysis video. The company I will be analyzing today is an exciting and innovative one in the technology sector. It's a company that focuses primarily on the manufacturing of hardware devices that go in items such as your phone or laptop. It's a company that's been on my radar for the past few weeks, but they actually just had a really solid earnings report come out yesterday, which kind of prompted me to do this video and get it to you as fast as possible. So I won't leave you hanging anymore. The company I will be reviewing and analyzing today is Photon Control, ticker symbol PHO on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And if you're in the US, you can find this one on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol POCEF. So the way I'll be analyzing and reviewing Photon Control is I'm first going to focus on the overall company and business model and the leadership team running it. This will give us a good picture of the company and what they do, as well as the people who run it. I'll then dive in and analyze the financial statements that just came out and really go through the income statement and balance sheet of the company. And then we'll analyze the stock chart for Photon Control and look at the analyst predictions for the future stock price. And then at the very end, I'll give my overall picture and final thoughts on the company and whether I will be potentially buying it or adding it to my portfolio. So without further ado, let's jump right in and look over Photon Control. Photon Control currently trades at $2.47 per share and has a market cap of just over $250 million. So this still is a relatively small company. They are profitable and we will get into that. So they do have a PE ratio of 20.58, which is actually really good. Before we dive too deep into the details, let's first look at Photon Control as a company. So what exactly is it that Photon Control does as a company? Photon Control is an industry leader in the manufacturing and production of fiber optic sensors. Photon Control focuses primarily on temperature and position sensors, which are used in the manufacturing and testing of other technology hardware. Their largest business application or vertical for their sensors is that they are in the manufacturing supply chain of semiconductor chips. These are chips that are used in almost every piece of technology in the world. They are in your mobile devices, your laptops, cloud servers, they're in everything. Heck, they're even in smart toasters, smart coffee machines, you name it, that has a semiconductor chip in it. The fiber optic sensors that Photon Control provides helps these semiconductor manufacturers produce and test higher quality chips. If manufacturers are able to increase the efficiency and performance yield of their semiconductor chips by even 1%, it ends up saving the company millions of dollars down the line. This is one of the reasons Photon Control is doing really well right now, as these type of sensors are in hot demand. The semiconductor industry as a whole is an enormous one. It is evaluated today at a $44 billion industry. The industry is also projected to continue to grow at a really nice rate over the next few decades. Looking at this graph, it predicts that the number of tech devices in the world in 2030 will be 50 billion. With this growth, the need for semiconductor chips will also grow, leading to greater business opportunities for Photon Control in the future. While semiconductor manufacturing is Photon Control's largest application of their sensors, they are also in several different other diverse business verticals, such as flat panel displays, medical and energy use cases, alongside research with the use of their sensors in labs and universities. Photon Control is planning to innovate on all of these different business verticals over the coming years, which just adds to the excitement behind this company and its future growth potential. Before we dive in and look at the management team of Photon Control, I quickly want to point out that Photon Control is a global company. They have stations around the globe, and over the last little while, they've really positioned themselves nicely with distribution centers in Asia, in South Korea, Japan, and China. This is where a lot of those technology devices and semiconductor chips are manufactured. So it's great to see that they're growing their presence in those markets. So let's now take a look at the management team, starting with the president and CEO, Nigel Hunton. Nigel has over 30 years of leadership experience in the semiconductor industry. He also has served as a president and CEO since May 2019, which is a key date to remember because the company has been seeing record revenue and income since he has stepped in as CEO and president. So he has great technical and industry skills, but what I like most about his background is that he has past experience as a CEO and helping to grow the company successfully. That combined with his track record since he's joined Photon Control gives me the confidence that Nigel has the ability to help grow this company into the future years to come. The rest of the senior leadership team all have 20 plus years of relevant experience in their domains. If you want to do further research and look deeper into their backgrounds, you can come onto the company website and read the bio for each member of the senior leadership team, as well as the board of directors. This will help give you a little bit more confidence in all of them and will highlight things that I don't have the time to go over in detail in this video. So we now have a better understanding of what Photon Control does as a company and their business model. And we've shown that they're positioned well in a growing market. We also looked at the leadership team and showed that they have really good past experiences and are capable of leading this company into the future. So now let's take a look at the financial report and financial statements that were just released yesterday from Photon Control. And we're going to be looking at the revenue and income to make sure that both are on the right track and have been growing over year and quarter after quarter. So let's go check them out. So I have open Photon Control's Q4 2020 income statement, the one that was released yesterday with their earnings report. So looking first at their revenue, we can see that for the year ending December 31st, 2020, so for the full year's results of 2020, Photon Control had a revenue of $64 million and $657,000 compared to the previous year's revenue of $32,730,000. So you can see that revenue almost doubled year over year from 2019 to 2020, which is absolutely phenomenal. Transitioning now to the earnings or income of Photon Control, the net income for the full year ending in 2020 was just over $14 million, while compared to 2019, the net income was only $2,371,000. So you can see that the difference is quite astonishing. Photon Control was almost able to 7x their total net income in just 1 year. They did this by increasing their profit margin and gross profits while seeing record years in demand for their optical sensors. Here is a really nice diagram that goes to show the big jump in revenue and income from 2019 to 2020. And again, as I mentioned, the new CEO and president came on in Q2 of 2019. And since then, you can really see that jump up in revenue. Some other great things worth mentioning on the slide on the right side of the screen is that Photon Control is currently sitting on $48.5 million of cash, up from $15 million the previous year. So they've gained $30 million in their bank account. They also currently have an order backlog of over $30 million, up from the $20 million it was at in 2019. This means Photon Control already has $30 million of revenue sitting in its pipeline for orders ready to go, which is a great problem to have. So to quickly highlight Photon Control's highlights for the year, they recorded record annual revenue of $64.7 million, record annual adjusted EBITDA of $22.8 million, and record annual net income of $14.1 million. So 2020 was their best year, and they are poised to grow in 2021. So we just looked at and reviewed the financial statement of Photon Control that just came out yesterday. It showed that they've seen some pretty amazing growth over the past year, not only in revenue, but also in income, which is a great sign leading for this company into the future. Let's now look at the current assets to current liabilities ratio. This is a ratio I love to check in any of my videos. It just gives you a good overall sense on whether or not if something were to happen to the company in the short term, would they have enough assets and cash to be able to weather the storm and get through it. So let's check out the ratio for current assets to current liabilities of Photon Control. So jumping over to the balance sheet for Photon Control, we can see that they have a total current assets of $65 million and $512,000, and they have a total current liabilities of $14,930,000. Giving us an overall ratio for current assets to current liabilities of a 4.39. And again, anything above 1 is good, and the higher above 1 you get, the better it is. So 4.39 is really great. It means their current assets heavily outweigh their current liabilities. It's also worth pointing out again while we're here that Photon Control is sitting on almost $50 million in cash, and they have almost no long-term debt on their books. If you look at their long-term liabilities, it's under $1 million. So we've just seen that Photon Control has an enormous pile of cash saved up. They have almost $50 million in cash sitting in their bank account, which is amazing to see. They plan to use this to help forward their company and grow it into the future. Photon Control is planning to use this cash to help further them and grow them as a company into the future, whether that be through acquisitions or through investing in their overall innovation and product development to help further their products and bring them to that next level. This is really exciting and great to see for them moving forward. So finally, let's now look at the stock chart and see what analysts have as predictions for the 12-month price of Photon Control. So jumping back into the stock chart for Photon Control, we can see that yesterday they dropped almost 6% in share price, even after posting that solid earnings report. I think the earnings report was really promising for Photon Control moving into the future. And this is just really a minor setback with the overall market and growth stocks significantly seeing a sell-off yesterday. Over the past month or so, we've seen a lot of penny stocks or growth stocks sell off quite significantly, talking in that 30 to 40% range. But Photon Control has actually been a lot more resilient of a company. If we look at the past month, they've only sold off from 286 down to 245. We're talking about, a 15 to 20% sell-off, whereas other companies are seeing 30 to 40. So that's always good to see. And if we look at the past 6 months, they were near $3 February 16th. They're now at 247. We've seen quite a dip, but over the past year, they've seen some tremendous growth going from 85 cents a share to now where they're currently at 247. And I want to show you a little bit more of a technical chart to get a better understanding of a pattern that I see Photon Control in and a reason why I think it will continue to grow over the next few months to years. So on screen, I've got the 6-month chart for Photon Control with 1-day candles. You can see the steady upwards trend with a big, huge spike here and then coming back down. I've drawn this really nice trend line in the dark purple that shows Photon Control's overall trend upwards has this common point where it bounces off of it when it comes back down, goes up, hits this line, bounces back. So you can see it's done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on its 6th time hitting this line and bouncing off, but it has not yet to bounce off. So we're waiting to see if Photon Control will continue this. It's also currently testing the 50-day moving average, which is this purple line right here. So you can see that it bounced off the purple line right here about a week ago, and now it's testing the support level again. So I think if it bounces off both the trend line and the 50-day moving average, I think this stock will continue upwards pretty strong as it has in the past. It's got 6 times in the past that it's done this. So I would be watching this one very closely to see if it starts to bounce back the other way in the upwards direction. So just from a overall trend analysis on this stock chart, it's showing that Photon Control seems to be at a strong support level. So if it does bounce off of these, I'm definitely bullish on Photon Control moving forward. It also doesn't hurt that the 2 analyst ratings on Photon Control are both buys, with the 12-month forecast at $3 and $3.50. These are both from highly rated analysts, which leaves a 20 to 40% upside on Photon Control currently. So now it comes time for my final thoughts on Photon Control as a company and as a stock. I think Photon Control has a lot of amazing things going for them currently. The earnings report that just came out is really promising for them. It showed that they've been able to grow their revenue and income pretty handsomely over the past 12 months. Not only that, but they are sitting on an enormous pile of cash that they plan to use effectively to help grow the company. I also think Photon Control is trading at a great price currently. After a positive earnings report came out, the share price went down with the overall market. This is rare to see and means that you're getting an even better deal for Photon Control than you probably should be. Analysts have this stock rated and forecasted to be above $3 in the next 12 months, leaving you a lot of good upside potential in the share price. Not only that, but I only see the demand for their actual product growing over time. As the world moves towards more and more devices, their demand will only increase, and I think it could be an exponential growth over the next few years. They are really positioned well to take advantage of this growth and grow their bottom line as well as their revenue and income pretty well over the next few years. I see this company just continuing its growth, not only in the short term, but definitely a long-term hold over the next few years. I could see this stock getting to that $5 price range, no problem, being almost double the price from where it currently is. But remember, I am not a financial advisor by any means, and these are only my opinions, so always do your own research and due diligence. But with that being said, I personally love Photon Control. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave me down below in the comments what small company or penny stock you want me to feature next and you want me to review and analyze. If certain suggestions and ticker symbols get a lot of comments, I will definitely be doing those in future videos. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lots more content coming your way in the next coming weeks. So again, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.